I was talking to some high schoolers a couple weeks ago, and I said, does anybody talk to you all about intuition? And they said, no, I don't really even know what my own intuition is. So if you were talking to those high schoolers and when you said every fiber in my being, how did you know that? How do you teach that, learn it? Yeah.
And it's so right. And I'm so glad that you're talking about that, because we don't trust our intuition. We all have intuition. We all have that nudge, that prompt, that's something that, gets you excited and fired up about. And then you go and share it with other people and then they poo-poo it, right? They're like, that's silly. And what I always say is you have to be mindful of where the other person is coming from when they tell you like, oh, well, that sounds silly, because it's their own fear, right? It's their own lens that they're looking through. So what I learned by going through this process is when I shared what my vision was for having a digital business literally 16 years ago to these three business coaches, it was their own fear of technology. Wow. And so with intuition, it's just
how did you have that intuition? How did you know to listen to that nudge? So how did you even know you had a nudge?
Well, the nudge was just more and more people were reaching out to me and saying, hey, I heard you know how to do this and I'll pay you. I mean, when you start hearing that commonality, that common thread, listen to the common thread. And that's really where I said, I think I'm onto something. And then the fact that when people after going through the training that I was doing then would have those aha moments of, oh, I get it now. I didn't realize I could do that. Then that just led to the next step. And so I just, really just, it's about just listening, looking for the commonalities and then leaning into it and knowing that we don't have to have every single step figured out. But by taking action, it led to more things being revealed and allowing me to know that I was taking the right steps and that there are no wrong steps. There might be steps where we step outside the guardrail, right? Because we all have guardrails in our lives. There's no wrong steps, because even when I made wrong steps, which I made many wrong steps, all it did was made me come back and pivot, right? Be able to make changes, to be able to evolve. And so that's why I love your podcast so much, because it's like fail forward, right? Failing forward. And that's what I did. My whole career was continue to learn and fall down and get back up and learn again.